We're going to be watching a match, Devontae Johnson versus Owen Jones, and we're going to have a look at it. If you want more of this type of content, I have an online jiu-jitsu school community. It's free, and I also have private students that I do online coaching with. So if you're interested, send me a DM on school. Anyway, let's get into it. So this match, Owen Jones versus Devontae Johnson. Devontae Johnson's obviously much bigger, but the advantage here is that Devontae's already had a couple matches, so he's going to be fairly fatigued, and I believe Owen is coming into this relatively fresh. So you can see Owen really wants to push the pace and come here and start getting his initiation and attacks going. So he opts to sit in aggressively and pull into like this butterfly half position here. From here, he likes taking a scoop on his opponent, and you can see what he's doing really well is that he's taking his head towards his opponent knee very close, and he's using his knee to take his head away from his knee. So Devontae Johnson wants to keep his head on this side of the body, and Owen wants to take his head away from him with his legs, because if Owen can move his head away from him, that means he can unweight the leg and he can start entering into his legs. So let's see what happens from here. Owen kind of uses his legs to kind of like kick him backwards, and he enters into like this outside Ashley position, and he looks to transition from there. Devontae kind of sits to his butt, and then Owen tries transitioning towards the second leg, but nothing really comes out of it because Devontae manages to get his butt to the mat and then pummel his knees on the inside. Owen tries to follow up with crab ride and gets on top. Anytime someone sits to the butt to defend a leg lock, it is a lot harder to leg lock them, but they are giving up top position. So from here, Owen just comes up and he starts putting his opponent on his back, and immediately gets to the angle and starts passing, which is very good work by Owen. So even though he didn't get the leg lock, he swept him and passed his guard, so that's definitely a win. And the threat of the initial leg lock caused his opponent to do that. You can see he's connecting towards the seatbelt, trying to cover their hips and throw the hook in. He managed to get the second hook in and lock a mini body triangle, but Devontae's hips are just so big they can't really get a tight body triangle from here. He's trying to cycle strangles, but it's quite awkward to get the finish against a bigger guy because they can be very sticky with their grips and like grabbing your wrist and not allowing you to punch your hand through and get it like a deep strangle. So Owen tries cycling through and getting some offense going, but you can see he's having a little bit of an issue just due to the sheer size disadvantage. He's just going over the face, which is completely legal and supported. He looks to take Devontae belly down, so this is good. So the back is a good position, but it's one of the only positions in jiu-jitsu where like even though you have the better pin and you're attacking the guy from the back, you're indirectly carrying his body weight. So a lot of times this can be more fatiguing for the person attacking than the person defending. So a good idea is try to take your opponent belly down and try to like keep the back, but also like make him carry your body weight and fatigue him over time. So you can see Owen starts heisting up and forcing Devontae belly down. This is although like he's not on the back technically, this is probably better for him because he can look to fatigue him more and exhaust him. Now he looks to get towards mount, and you can see Devontae is just so tired already. A little bit of showboating, and then I think they reset towards the middle. You can just see how tired he is. He's crawling back towards the mat, trying to catch his breath. They fight from here. Owen's trying to pin the wrist, but Devontae just keeping double cross frames and making it very difficult for him to get elbow exposure. So Owen opts to dismount so he can start exposing those elbows. Devontae tries turning with the underhook, but because Owen's elbow is in, it's quite hard for him to punch the underhook. Owen tries backstepping into the leg there, but I think Devontae catches up on it and just pulls his leg backwards. This is nice. From here, because Devontae's heist up onto her elbow, Owen tries locking a seatbelt and taking his back in like a Joseph Chen style back take where he flips over. Even if Devontae has the underhook, he can still do that. And he actually does manage to get towards turtle, but doesn't manage to throw both hooks in. They fall towards a high ball ride position, and they're fighting from here. Same thing as before, Owen's cycling strangles and looking to get the finish. Owen opts to stay on top of him so he can exhaust him more. In a match, some people can kind of rest if you take the back. It's often a good idea to stay on top and just apply pressure and pin them towards mount. There he goes for the back step again. This is quite nice. So anytime you're in mount, if you can like thread your foot inside willingly, you can like bait your opponent to capture your ankle and then hit a back step into a cross ashy slash saddle position. Here, Owen doesn't even manage to get his foot inside, so he throws towards like a double leg cross ashy, and he tries to separate the legs from here. You can see Devontae's trying to eject, but Owen managed to get both legs through here, and now he's in this like weird position where he has both legs controlled, and he passes him. I believe he passes him across towards the other side. Yeah, so like here you actually have like a threat of a heel hook on both sides. This is a quite interesting position. You do see it come up a little bit, not to a high success rate, of course, but I think because Owen's a lot smaller, it's kind of easier almost for him to keep his knee line and capture the heel. So he has heel hook threats in both directions. Something to note here. He can heel hook this foot, but if Devontae defends too much, he can also heel hook the secondary foot. You can see he's kind of like playing in between both bets. There he just switched sides and attacked both feet. He went back to the other one, and he eventually managed to get the tap, which is very nice. So very nice exchange by Aaron Jones. He goes towards this I don't know if this position has an exact name. I just call it double leg cross ashy. And then from here he passes a leg across, and they end up in a position where like he essentially has the ability to heel both legs. So he can go one leg, or if that doesn't work, he can transition towards the other, which you see him do. And then he managed to lock his hands, catch his heel, and then hip in for the break. So very effective.